Hello there, how's it going? So I just participated in the GMTK 2021 Game Jam, and as most of the people watching this know, it's an event where you're given 48 hours to make a game. I always saw other people's devlogs about them joining and going through the whole process of making a game, but I never thought I'd make one myself. But here we are. The theme of the jam was joined together. I was, to be honest, rather disappointed with this theme, because I thought it would be something crazy, like the past jam's themes were, but I soon realized that it's actually quite a good one. I immediately started brainstorming and I was ready to go through a bunch of ideas before choosing a good one. What happened though is that I got this weird idea for conjoined twins that need to get separated, and the skin that's joining them together is the game mechanic that the puzzles are based around on. All other ideas that followed it seemed quite boring, so I was like, screw it, it's my first jam, if it sucks, I have an excuse. It was 11 PM at this point, so I went to sleep to start work on it the next day. Normally when I try to make games in Unity, I watch some tutorials for the mechanic I want to implement, then I attempt to implement it myself without copying directly. This time, however, I had 48 hours, not nearly enough time for trial and error, so I struck up a deal with Blackthorn Prod. He teaches me his secrets for making a 2D platformer, and maybe I'll put him in the credits of my game. He didn't agree, but I didn't tell him in the first place, so yeah. Anyways, I finished the movement and improved the jumping physics. At this point I still had no idea how I was going to implement the skin mechanic, so I looked around for a solution. Apparently, spring joints were perfect for what I was trying to do, and after a bit of tinkering, I had some weird looking twins jumping around. Then I got wall jumping working because I felt that I needed that for some puzzles, and I added the ability to switch twins and I gave each of them specific abilities. The boy can wall jump, while the girl can extend/de-extend the skin between them. Now the movement was quite fun to play around with, and that was the start, but I had a severe lack of levels. For some reason I left this part until much later, even though it was the meat of the game, and instead focused on the music. A main recurring theme in this jam is that I had to relearn a lot of stuff. One of them was how the hell Baskerville worked. After doing that, I slapped together a track in good old G major, and this is how it sounds. This is honestly an achievement, as most of the music I make for my games just gets very annoying after a while. The next day, I had my work cut out for me. 10 hours to make 5 levels, renovate the graphics, make the cutscene, make the menu, and do some polish. This was probably the most stressful thing I've done. Now, for some reason, all my good ideas come when I'm trying to sleep, and I had all the ideas for the levels during that time. It's inconvenient though, as I have to write them down somewhere before I can sleep. The cutscene wasn't that hard to do, as I quickly drew the frames, wrote a dumb paragraph, and put it in Unity. For the art, I drew a hospital door for the entrance and exit, and drew the title screen and set it up so that they swing like the twins. You might be asking why the title is conjoined while the game's name is A Tale of Two Twins. Well, I quickly found out that the previous title wasn't as original as I thought, so I changed it so it doesn't get lost within the 5,000 plus entries. Side note, the reason the baby's sprite looks so rushed is because they were. I drew them as placeholder art with a mouse until I had time to change them, and I never got the chance to redraw them. Same thing with the syringes, also drawn with a mouse in a very short time frame. At this point I had all the levels done, the music playing, and these very scuffed sound effects that I definitely didn't make with my mouth play whenever a baby exploded. It was ready to be exported and submitted, minus the extremely horrible controls page that I found out didn't even contain all of the controls. I'm sorry about that to whoever played the game. I'll work on that in the next build, hopefully. I knew beforehand that I wanted the WebGL version to be playable since that got more ratings, but also downloadable in case the browser version sucked. Spoiler alert, it did. You can't even see the cutscene there. And just right when I was uploading the game, disaster struck. You see, a lot of people were having the same experience as me, finishing up their game in the last minute and trying to upload it to itch. This caused itch's servers to puke all over themselves, which caused me to panic. All the work that I've done could be made meaningless because I took too long to upload. Thankfully, the game jam managers extended the submitting period by like 15 minutes, and I could finally upload it within just 9 minutes of the deadline. Oof. And that was it. My first ever game jam, and honestly the first real game I made. It was incredibly fun to participate in the event, and even though it came with its fair share amount of stress. I got a lot of comments saying how morbid, difficult, and weird the game is, and I love every one of them. Obviously, I'll take the criticism into account if I ever make another version. And it's honestly crazy how I started with a weird idea and a glimmer of hope, and it turned into a nice little game that a lot of people found fun. If you'd like to try it out, the link is the first one in the description. And thanks for watching the devlog, and I hope you enjoyed. Bye bye.